Okay, hi people, here we are again, back for the 2014 summer update for Zyprexa Olanzapine because as you can see, check out the shirt, okay? I'll back up a little bit here. 99 to 2014 because this is my 15th anniversary since going on Zyprexa. And forever changed and destroyed my life. Yeah. Courtesy of Big Pharma, Eli Lilly, and a legalized drug pusher. You know who you are. So I just thought I would have to do something appropriate to mark this anniversary. You know, so I had this shirt made up, and maybe I'll throw a couple pictures of it on the screen here for you. So, you know, to make matters worse, of course, here we are. Well, since this is August, so that means it's, 32 months, I guess, since trying to get off of it. And no, I am still not completely off of Zyprexa. Isn't that wonderful? And yeah, just so you know, I am still taking roughly that quarter milligram, half milligram area. You know, probably close to half. And you know, I am. You know, the bottom line is, you know, I'm still for the most part sleeping miserably. And of course, I wish I had better news for you. You know, because I'm kind of getting sick and tired of, you know, kind of like saying the same thing over and over again between the sleep and of course the tinnitus is, you know, right there. And in fact, just past week or so, it had some real bad spells with it. You know, just when you think it can't get any worse, you know. So, you know, but I hope you like this shirt, you know, because, you know, you know, as you know, I do have a bit of a offbeat and slightly sarcastic sense of humor, right? So, anyway, you know, I just wanted to, I'm going to try to keep this less than a half an hour, okay? So, I will do my best, and, you know, because I do appreciate some comments I've received from people recently, and, you know, no, but I mean, this, as for sleep, I mean, I am, you know, again, 2.5 years later, I mean, I am convinced that I'm never going to have any, you know, normalized sleep ever again. Okay, I mean, you know, it's not going to happen. Okay, it's not going to. And the tinnitus, you know, looks like I'm stuck with that for life as well. So, you know, and of course, I just wanted to get this message out again, just to, you know, of course, share my story, and also, you know, let this be a lesson to what they now call the third generation neuroleptics. That would be like Abilify and Latuda. Don't you just love these names, right? You know, and of course, I'll just briefly say about those two. You know, of course, you're seeing them advertised on television, okay? And of course, we never saw any other generation of antipsychotics advertised. So, I mean, obviously, you know, the pharmaceuticals cut a deal with, you know, the FDA and what have you, because as you know, now these third generations are catered to, excuse me, you know, be supplemental to your SSRI, you see. So, So I mean, I'm sure there was some, clever wheeling and dealing and marketing, done to allow these third generation neuroleptics to be advertised. Okay, so if you see where I'm going with that, but of course, I'll throw out a little prediction for you. Of course, you'll be curious to see. I don't know, 5 years from now, whatever, how many people, will be having problems, diabetes and twitching, shaking, and all that good stuff, from Latuda and Abilify, right? So, but, and because speaking of which, if you've seen the ads for those, they do say, how, oh, well, it may cause weight gain, it may cause, twitching, uncontrollable movements, and all this. So of course, with that in mind, so if you develop that, any of those, or diabetes, then you can't legally go after them like people did 8 years ago with Zyprexa, you see. So they got their bases covered this time around, okay? So, but the mission remains the same, get as many people, pumped up on these drugs, and of course you gotta love the marketing angle, of how, how they're, added on to the SSRI, right? Because it's necessary and it's going to make you feel better, right? And of course the end result, as we know, is, so you develop a dependency and, do I dare say the word, addiction, right, to that as well, and that's what they want to happen, right? So, and of course, getting back to Zyprexa and stuff, of course, I'm still sleep deprived, coming off another 4-hour night, so I had to make some notes because it's the type of situation where trying to concentrate and remain focused, it's very difficult because I don't have to tell you, when you don't sleep, this is what happens. And but I was going to say something else about that, you see, but I was kind of looking at my other clips that I've uploaded here over the past year or so, and I don't know if you've noticed this as well, but I mean, back then it was like I was more focused, you know what I mean, and I know it may not look like it right now, but I am struggling, to concentrate, but looking over the series of the videos I've done, I mean, it's very interesting just to basically see how I have declined, and but don't mean to sound like a broken record here, but if you're not going to sleep, I mean, it's like, I mean, you can't function, and I am still standing firm to my position of not going back on a higher dose of this or switching to another neuroleptic. I will, call me a martyr with a capital M, but I will suffer to my death instead of being a casualty and victimized by these ridiculous drugs and psych medicine in general. Okay, so if that makes me a martyr, then so be it. All right. So, and before I forget, as for the shirt, if there are any other Zyprexa Olanzapine addicts out there, And if you'd like to place a bulk order with me, send me a message, okay? And maybe we can see if we can work something out, all right? But, okay, so of course I'm looking at my notes here, right? And just, I'm also just going to quickly say, as far as Ms. Malpractice, okay? No, 8 months now, not a word, okay? Haven't heard a thing. So, and of course that comes as no surprise. So, when I do, I will, be sure to let you know. And a couple other things I am going to tell you concerning prescribers. And I'm pretty sure I did not mention this last time around, okay? It just so happens that in the city where Ms. Malpractice works and lives, okay, during my search back in the spring, April, May, there were 2 other nurse practitioners, okay, who blew me off. Well, actually, one would not even speak to me, who was actually of a similar age as Ms. Malpractice. And then there was a second one, which is very perplexing, who actually worked at the same place as this other person. She initially was talking to me, and we had a few great phone calls back and forth, and things were looking very promising. And then all of a sudden, she disappeared. So I think what happened. I can't prove it, but perhaps word got out, whether if it was intentional or not, I don't know, about the complaint I filed. And it goes without saying that anybody who finds out about that, the last thing they want to do is take me on, because they don't want to get in trouble or have a complaint filed against them, right? So, I don't think that's coincidental, like I said, but and I can also mention how in June, basically, I did manage to secure a new affiliation, I guess, if that's the right word, with a new group of people. I'm not going to tell you who it is, or but for the time being, I am after 2 years searching, I finally did manage to put something together, and things it's a little bit premature to kind of, for me to say how good or bad this is going to work out in the long run, but so maybe next time I talk to you, I'll have more of a definitive direction as to the way things are going. But as far as Zyprexa withdrawal goes, what I want to say is, unfortunately, which I am not too thrilled about, not everybody, but some of the people I'm dealing with now, I am encountering some resistance as far as my claims and experience with withdrawal, and they're basically not buying it, for the most part, between, being on such a small dose, again, the most I took was 2.5 milligrams, and the maximum, allowed is 20. So I mean, I have had a variety of people, dismiss the whole business of withdrawal just because I was on such a low dose all those years. And of course, I counter the argument by saying, well, you have to factor in, 12 and a half years at 2.5 milligrams. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't 12 and a half days. Okay, it was years. All right, and I have actually been told that maybe well, a couple things that like the again, taking only a quarter to a half milligram of it, that that can be essentially the equivalent of taking zero, nothing at all. I don't know. I'm not sure if I should even touch that one there, but a bit not too pleased with how it was suggested that some of the withdrawal things I put up with are not biochemical related, but more purely and strictly psychological. Didn't really appreciate that. So, I don't know. Like I said, so as far as the people I'm dealing with, like I said, I mean, it's kind of a mixed situation. Fingers crossed, things will work out. There's always the chance that they may not, and I'll have to resume the search, again. So, okay. So let me see what else I want to say here. Oh, and I don't think I mentioned this previously. Okay, but again, with the new group that I'm working with. Okay, now. You may recall before how I've mentioned taking Xanax now for, 15 years, I guess. I would take it nightly, okay. Now, I found this very interesting, all right, and I'm straying away from Zyprexa, sorry about that, but what I found very interesting was, so when I signed up with these new people, they won't go near Zyprexa. They won't go near Xanax at all. Okay, and let's get the focus going here. Okay, so and so of course when I was informed of that, I was not expecting that, and I was told due to the addictive nature of Xanax, okay, that's why they won't do it. And so what has been done is swapped over from Xanax to Ativan, which has only just been like a week now. And for, I don't know, I guess I'm going to have to do some research myself. If anybody has any answers, feel free to send me a message or a comment. Of course, my concern was, well,
it's 3 o'clock.
Can I really, safely biochemically switch, from Xanax to Ativan, just like that? I was told that I can, so I've tried it. Like I said, this has just been a week now, I'm not sure if it's the reason I'm a little uncertain here about whether or not I can pull this off is because I actually have had moments where it's like and I'm sure there are some of you out there who can relate to this, where you feel like either it's either like you're getting a bite, bug bite, mosquito bite, or it's like a little, just something very tiny like crawling on you or something like that, and I've had it on my arms, or I remember one night I woke up and I thought I was, being bit on the back of my neck by something, and so I don't know, kids. So like I said, I mean, I'll have to check this out further, and anybody else has any comments, recommendations, I don't know. And of course, keep in mind, I am also taking Klonopin, all right, as I have since 1991, as you may recall. Okay, so, and let me see, get some water here. All right, but time for the glasses, all right? Right. So anyway, okay. Sorry for the delay here, and I don't know. So I I'm just just wanted to get this quick update out. I really don't. I don't know. I guess I really don't have anything else to say, really. The one potentially good thing I will say about this new group of people that I'm working with is that even though it's not, at least not yet a perfect situation, but it has made me realize that I needed to make a dramatic change in the type of people. And of course, I was only dealing with Ms. Malpractice for 18 years, right? No, but I needed to make some kind of drastic, radical change in the type of person or people, dealing with, instead of, just dealing with, somebody whose objective was to, have me stay on Zyprexa and everything else every day for the rest of my life. And, I guess that is just about going to do it. And to tell you the truth, I know I've said this before, but I mean, when I make these videos, and I know I shouldn't say this, but it's like there's always the chance this might be the last one I make, because some days I feel like I'm cruising 90 miles an hour straight to the funeral home. So I don't know, but some nice regular sleep would be nice, but it just eludes me. Although I will tell you, this was really weird. I actually had beginning of July. I had like 2 nights within the span of a week where I only slept like 2.5, 3 hours. Real bad week. I mean, fortunately, those 2 nights were not back to back, but maybe they were, I don't know, 4 or 5 days apart. But and so I was dragging, needless to say, and then it was about maybe a few days later, after that second bad night, and I hope you're sitting down for this one. I actually had 3, count them, 3, like almost 8-hour nights, consecutive, all in a row, 3 nights. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I mean that has not happened in over 2.5 years. Okay, so and I did not, I'm quite certain I did not take any extra Zyprexa or what. Somehow I was able to sleep, and I just wish I could remember what I did or what the circumstances were which created that sleep, but apparently I just must have been so wiped out. Because actually, I remember the first, after that first good night. In fact, I remember it was a Saturday night, and got up for a while, and then the afternoon, I just just went back to bed. I don't think I didn't really fall back to sleep, but it was just I was just just totally out of it. I can tell you around that time, I will offer this. I was on the advice of the new people I'm dealing with. I was trying some melatonin. I tried that way back in the 90s. Didn't do anything, or at least anything positive. And this year, I mean, I don't know. I tried it maybe only, a week and a half, and really it was. I actually have it in eyedropper form and liquid, and the most I ever took was 1 milligram. All right, and a lot of times it was a half a milligram or even less than that. So, but really, I don't think that was related to those 3 wonderful 8-hour nights, but the only thing it just seemed to do was it just kind of gave me like jet lag during the day. I was just, it's bad enough not sleeping great, but, and then to have, like jet lag during the day, just being very groggy, during the day, unable to nap, so I don't know. Maybe I'll give them the melatonin another try, but I think that's about it. I don't know. I just wanted to, let you people know that I'm still alive and kicking, as the saying goes, and just so you know, on a comical but also on a serious note, much to my surprise, I recently turned 50. I honestly didn't think I was going to even make it to 50. All right. Am I going to make it to 51? I have no idea. All right. But, kind of wanted to do something special to celebrate the occasion, but, I hate to use this as a lame excuse, but, I'm just too damn tired to do what I wanted to do. So, guess I'll have to, take the proverbial rain check on that. But, so I also wanted to wish my fellow Leos out there a good, happy birthday to those out there. All right. So, one last look at the notes, and I think that's going to do it. All right. So, all right. I will leave it at that. So, thank you as always for watching. Okay, so I will fingers and toes crossed. I'll see you soon. All right. So, thanks again.